We'll move right into the code hearing, the first and I guess only item on the agenda. Is citation number C6737 involving Noemi Santiago, issued August 18, 2014. Who's appearing on behalf of the city? Right. Would you state your name for the record, sir?
Yes, Officer Bobby Liberito and Officer Brian Anderson.
All right. Would you raise your right hands? You solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. All right. Go ahead, officers.
On August 18, 2014, we received a call reference a vehicle that's parked in a handicap parking spot in Elvira Mall without a tag or a handicap placard displayed. When we arrived, we noticed that it did not have one displayed. There was one, however, we noticed in like the armrest area, like center console. However, we just saw like the edge of it, and it wasn't properly displayed. We ran the vehicle tag, and it didn't show that it was handicapped eligible, so we issued the vehicle a city citation for handicap parking.
All right. You have anything, sir? All right. But when you ran it, you did find that it did have. So the problem we really have here is a failure to display.
Well, no, it did not have a. It wasn't registered to someone that had a placard, a handicap placard issued to them.
Oh, okay. So the car was not registered to a person with a placard. All right. So the one that was displayed, if it belonged to anyone, it belonged to someone other than the owner of the car. Okay. Anything else you have to present right now? All right. Mr. Santiago, are you here? Or Miss Santiago? Okay. Would you both raise your right hand? Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? By the way, who was the driver? Am I pronouncing the name correctly? Noemi, and you were the driver of the car, Miss Santiago? All right. What do you have to say?
Well, I was having problems with the mirror thing, so I just got mad and just put the the handicap thing inside the slab, the console, yeah.
Inside the console?
Yeah, it's usually where we keep it. We got to pick converted.
Because it was our anniversary.
We don't know why as the handicap have people placard.
The plate on the car?
Yes. If that the plate is a regular plate, it doesn't have the little handicap
Sign on it.
signs on the actual registered to that plate.
All right, so you're telling me that the tag on the car is the tag to which the placard is assigned?
Yes, that's correct.
Because I'm the driver, I'm the one that has
Yes.
handicap.
And who?
Why it wouldn't show up on.
Right. Well, let me see what you have, sir.
And the motor vehicle gave me those papers. Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
All right, would ask the officers to step forward, if you would. Take a look at this, if you would, gentlemen, and tell me, have you seen that before? Does that appear that indeed the decal is assigned to this?
Oh, no, I don't have
place?
no, this looks like this has been added because the Florida vehicle
We
registration.
have,
Okay. Okay. All right. If
I looked at it this morning and it's still,
if
but it doesn't mean that they.
okay,
Your Honor, we have the originals in
it's
the van.
outside.
the original what?
The
All of those
the
originals.
because that's a copy right there, but I have the real one is outside.
Yep. Go bring it in, please. We'll wait for you. Okay. Thank you. Did you need to see that?
I even tried to glue the mirror with the crazy glue, and it didn't even stay. It kept on falling down. The thing, not that day. Yeah. Yeah.
For the officers, typically would the Florida vehicle registration show on its face that a handicap placard has been issued? Yes.
It'll be issued to the person, they'll have a separate registration.
Okay. So, okay. All right. May I see that registration? All right. I see that. That doesn't tell me who that's assigned to.
We had that, and we could run it and check it.
It's okay.
All right. I've been handed several documents. In fact, for the record, let me identify what was handed to me previously by Mr. and Mrs. Santiago. First is a certificate of title showing the registered owner of the 1993 Chevrolet as no Emmy Santiago or Javier Auli. Then I see a Florida vehicle registration. By the way, are these my copies to keep?
Yes.
Okay. They will be admitted into evidence. And then a Florida vehicle registration over which there looks like maybe an overcopy or attachment showing portions of a handicap permit. Those will be admitted into evidence. I've just been handed some originals by Mr. and Mrs. Santiago. First is a copy of the actual disabled person's identification permit that typically hangs on the mirror. Then I see the original Florida vehicle registration, which is identical to the copy. I'm going to return that to the Santiagos at the end of the hearing. That's an insurance card. That doesn't show anything about the handicap, does it?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to return that to you. And the certificate of title to the car. What I don't see, Mr. and Mrs. Santiago, is anything showing that this placard was issued to you. Do you have any paperwork that goes with that?
We should have the paperwork. I think it's in her files.
Okay. Officers, how long would it take you to run this and find out who it's assigned to? Could you do that for me? Maybe we'll get lucky.
Do you want me to get that for you?
You may have these back. I am returning the original documents to Ms. Santiago. We'll wait just a few minutes here and see what it checks. While we're waiting, I also should indicate for the record that I have been given, and it has been received into evidence, a letter from the Oviedo Police Department to Ms. Santiago, notifying her that the citation has not, the fine list in the citation has not been paid, and I have a copy of the actual citation. Those are admitted into evidence. Still waiting. I am going to return to the Santiagos, the disabled parking permit placard. You see, Mr. and Mrs. Santiago, the problem, there's nothing that tells us or the police, without that placard being properly displayed, there's no way for them to check whether the placard belongs to the car
Yeah, I was just
or to the
telling-
driver of the car. And today, as we see here, without something to show that that placard has been assigned to you, it's just a placard.
Yeah, I was just telling him that maybe we should change the plate to, put a
Well, I
bigger
would
one.
suggest that you properly put that thing where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Your Honor, can I please have a seat right here?
Yes?
It's not showing anything. There's a few different purpose codes you can use to try and run, not get feedback. The handicap pack.
While we're waiting, would you give me your name again and spell it for me, because I'm going to need to include it in the order? Yeah. S-O-N. And, sir?
It could be assigned to somebody else, it doesn't have to be the registered owner of the vehicle. As long as they're using it like to transport somebody. It is registered, then it's fine. Our issue was just that, it was just what.
But we just don't know whether that placard is assigned to Miss.
Right, and it could be, it could be assigned to somebody else, it doesn't really matter who it's assigned to, as long as they're using that vehicle to transport that disabled person. But our main issue is just that it wasn't.
Okay. All right. Well, what I'm going to do, Mr. and Mrs. Santiago, and officers, you can take your seat. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I'm not going to adjudicate you guilty today, and I'm not going to impose a fine, although I probably could. I'm not. But I hope you realize that this placard has to be properly displayed, because I could have fined you today $150. Indeed, the citation says $150. The ordinance says $250. So you could have paid a very hefty fine today. You're just simply going to have to properly display that. So I'm going to adjudicate you not guilty, Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Anything else to come before us today?
You have a good day.
Thank you. Mr. O'Rourke, you have anything? Officers? Yes, sir. All right. This hearing then is